So if a child is born as twins, or is born as an albino or disabled, or if the mother of that child dies while breastfeeding that baby, those set of children are actually considered evil babies in this community in Nigeria.
If any of them visit me after we rescue a child, they ask me a question like, Pastor, are those your evil children still alive? Because their belief is that the gods will be coming to kill them even in my house.
I'm not talking about something that happened in 18th century. I'm talking about something that's happening right now in 2024 as we speak. Right now, people, parents, rejecting their own baby just because they are born twins, or just because they are born as albino, or just because the mother unfortunately passed away while breastfeeding that child. So they reject the child and then consider that child an evil.
As recent as last week Saturday, we have our youngest set of twins coming in. In fact, those twins are 1 week old today. They are 1 week old today.
You cannot breastfeed?
Yeah, they exclusively on infant formula until they are 5 months.
I know it's difficult for most people to comprehend or to accept that such a thing can exist in this time that we're living. But facts and evidences don't lie. What are 1 week old babies doing in this facility, if not that these babies has been rejected by their own parents just because they are twins? Could you imagine? Bring me to the next question. How do you even begin to take care of these kids? These kids were brought into this facility when they were just 2 days old. Right now they are 1 week old. It's a lot of tasks. How do you even begin to take care of them? Because their parents are still alive, but someone else now have to take care of these kids.
Even the mother that are alive for the twins is an abomination based on the tradition I told you. For a mother, a child that they say is evil, you can't breastfeed the child. This one, hope and goodness. When the mother brought them the first day, the children were crying. I was pleading with her, can you please breastfeed? She shrugged it off. And I understand why she did that. Not because she's shy, no. Because it's an abomination. That's one of the ways they deprive the children's survival.
So I have done a 30 minutes long documentary interview with Pastor Stephen all about this issue, which is on the channel. You can actually check it out. But this very video I'm doing right now is just to clarify some of the things I also did not talk about during the video. So based on my interview with Pastor Stephen, this is a cultural practice that has been in existence for probably over 200 years. And also based on what he told me, this practice is also majorly found among the Basakoma people. They're the ones that practice this even much more.
Myself and my wife were working as missionaries in rural communities, planting churches. That was what we were doing. While we were doing our work, we started hearing stories of some categories of children being killed due to cultural beliefs. A story about children that are born as multiple bad twins or triplets not being allowed to live. Then we have stories like if a nursing mother dies, the child survives. The community said that child is evil and he must die. A child is born as albino, they said because of the color of the skin, it's not a normal child, and they killed. And then a child growing the upper toothbrush is not also allowed to live. And then the last one, any child born with disability, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, whatever make a child to be deformed, they don't accept it. And after the first child we rescued, and subsequently, as she moved into the interior of FCT, we discovered that that story was not just restricted to the first village where we heard the story. We discovered that that story can be found among a particular tribal group, among the indigenes of FCT, the Pasakomo tribe. And we discovered that wherever they settle, this story abounds around them. And then we started pleading that since they believe that we have been reaching out to them as missionary planting churches, we not just plant churches, sometimes we also try to assist the villagers by providing dugout well, in some places sponsor medical treatment for some of the villagers when they are sick. I think that was what gave them confidence to start responding to us, because we didn't actually start with saving children. Like we started with outreaches, medical outreaches and all of those stuff. So By the time we started asking, okay, those children you want to kill, why don't you give us opportunity? We will rescue them, we will save them, and we grow up with them. And that's how, one after the other, when we hear news that a nursing mother had delivered and the Muslim mother passed away, we'll go after them, plead, and they give us the children. For twins, the father and mother may be alive. Most times, the mother and father of the twins or triplets are alive, but since the culture says they are forbidden children, the family, after speaking with us, they willingly give us the children. So that's how we got involved in the saving of the life of the children.
So the killing of these children is not something that is done openly, like you bring out the child and then you just kill the child, or you throw the child away, or take the child to the evil forest. No, that's not what happened. The killing of these children is done subtly. So basically, these children are, once a child falls into this category that is considered as an evil child, the child either get denied or deprived from food, or probably get poisoned, and so slightly just dies. And so that way it will look as if it's a natural cause of death. I mean, if a child is not given food or the child is poisoned, he's going to die. You wake up and the child is dead. So that's how those children are actually killed. But of course, it's not done openly. And because this thing is a cultural thing, it's also not done openly. People don't know, they don't talk about it. So the only way that even Pastor Stephen was able to discover this was because he was working among the people, and so the people has opened up and was able to find this culture. If not, you will never know.
It's not something you just wish away. Even when the federal government did through the FCT administration, they worked on this story too. After they interviewed me and asked me to come and tell them what is happening, they set up committee to work with the communities. But it is not work you do in a hurry. To a tradition that may have been existing for over 200 years, you won't expect advocacy of just 5-10 years to just uproot it and everybody will now agree with you. It will take time. Like we have some families now. Part of our story is that some of the children that grew up here, after all our engagement with the community, some of the families are now coming back and saying, now our eyes have been opened that no child is evil. Can we have our children back? Successfully, we have returned 28 back to their families, because that is our intention. That once you change your mindset that the children are no longer evil, at any point you want them, we'll return them to you.
I know some of you also asked during the original documentary, can these children be adopted? No, these kids can be adopted, as Pastor Stephen also explained in this video. Basically, these children are not really orphans, although they were rejected, but the work of Pastor Stephen is to keep these children, first of all, save them from being murdered, and also keep them. Over time, when these children grow up, they can go back to their parents, they can go back to their villages, they can go back to their root. And also, if the parents changes their mind, over time, they can also come back and take their kids back. So far, he has been able to reconcile about 28 kids back to their family. So many parents are changing their mind and coming to take back their babies.
With all that we have done, in the recent time, I would like to say that the outright killing is almost zero now. But the challenge we have is that some of the people having those categories of children are still having a little fear in their heart that, okay, everybody, government, foreign agencies, everybody is saying it's abomination, it's also evil to kill a child. That we will not kill, but we will not live with them. As recent as last week, Saturday, we have our youngest set of twins coming in.
The one thing for sure is that for the fact that these villagers still bring their kids to this heritage home shows that this culture is still alive and well rooted among them. Of course, many of them probably have changed their mind. Like he said, they are no longer probably mothering those kids. They'd rather bring those kids to him. But also many more, of course, will probably do away with those kids the way that I've been doing. So that means the child just dies and you think it's, a natural cause of death. And the fact is that those communities are in the very rural areas in the FCT. So nobody records these things, nobody monitors these things. It just happens. So what's the way forward? Basically, it's a cultural belief and something that cannot just change overnight. So more advocacy needs to be done, but not just advocacy. These communities, if you go into some of these communities, you get to realize they don't have social amenities, they don't have any government presence. You probably will not even find hospitals or clinics in those places. So government needs to do more, first of all, by reaching out to them, bringing development to their people, bringing them water, bringing them light, bringing them good roads, By so doing, then you can begin to do advocacy that can really work. I mean, you can't just come and start talking, and people will change. But the more development comes to them, the better they will change, and of course, adopt, the modern way of life. So this is something that is very important for those in authority to really do. And of course, one thing for sure, if you ask those in authority if this culture actually exists, let's say you go ask the local government chairman or anybody in authority, of course they're going to say it doesn't exist. You don't expect them to say it exists. It doesn't. But the truth is, facts and evidence is not lie. So instead of us living in denial, it is better that we actually step in fully to continue to assist and to help these people so that this cultural practices can be eradicated totally and fully. But it's going to take time, but it's something that needs to be done. So if you really want to help these children, you can actually check the description of this video. You'll find Pastor Stephen's contacts there, and you also find his account number there. You can reach out to him and support him. He's doing an incredible work. When you go in there, you're going to be touched, because you see children from 1 week old to children at 20 years old. And he has been doing this all his life. So if he has not dedicated his life to doing this, all of these children will probably not be alive today. But he has dedicated his life doing this, and I think he deserves all the attention, support that he needs to get right now. All right, so you can support him by checking the description of this video and check his account number and support him. Worst case scenario, you can at least share this video so more people can get to see it and know that this cultural practice is still in existence. So this video is not to stigmatize any tribe, but just to show that this exists and needs the attention of those in authority or spirit hearted individuals who can especially assist Pastor Stephen in doing and continuing this work. Imagine what would have happened to these kids if he hasn't dedicated his whole life saving these children. They would have all been murdered. All right, so thank you so much. There's a lot of videos on the channel that you find interesting, and if you find them interesting, please share them, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the very next story. Okay.